Hello, welcome to episode 1 of Indie Strings. My name is Kayla, and I will be your one and only host for the duration of this podcast. Oh, sorry about that one. And I really am super excited. I am starting this podcast and kind of trying to jump in with both feet into the video podcasting world. I wanted to podcast for about 2 years. Audio podcasts always kind of turned me off a little bit. I never personally enjoyed them. I enjoy a few of them and like them and listen to them. But really, I am addicted to video podcasts, and it really resonates with me watching someone and being able to visually and textually see what they're doing. And so I thought that I would join the masses and put myself out there and try to video podcast. So I really want to thank everyone who's tuning in with me today and giving me the opportunity to go ahead and try me out. This is my first time. Please be kind. If you have comments or suggestions, feel free to email me or message me on Ravelry. And I'd be happy to do whatever I can do to make this the best podcast that it can be. So a little bit about me. I've been knitting for about 8 years. Several years ago, about 8 years, I moved from my home state of Michigan and moved to Oregon, which I still am in Oregon today. I met a lovely friend named Jenny who taught me how to knit. She'd bring me to my local yarn stores. She showed me what indie was and what commercial was and all of those good things in between. And I kind of took to it. Loved it, became obsessed like so many others before me, and found Ravelry. And when I started knitting, Ravelry wasn't around. It was several months. I think it took me almost a year to get on Ravelry. So when I started knitting, it was just me in my house by myself. Sounds awful, but it was. I had a book that I had bought, and I taught myself how to knit from a book. I was a little naive, and I didn't ever think that I could go on YouTube and look up a video or there was some other resource out there until Ravelry came around. And like everyone says, it changed everything, and it made knitting way easier for me in a lot of ways, that I can find my resources a lot better or find out about what's coming out and what's going on. So I really want to be part of that whole mass video podcasts and Ravelry and really the knitting community as a whole. And so this is my contribution, and I hope that you guys enjoy it and stick around. Please stick around. Okay. So let's go right into what I'm knitting. I typically knit 2 things at the same time. I knit a big project or a large project, and also I knit a smaller project. So we'll go to the big project first. I'm knitting Lemongrass by, I think it's Joji. Joji? I always want to say Jody, and I know that's completely incorrect, and I apologize. You'll learn that I can't pronounce anything, and we'll just leave it with that. But anyways, the sweater is called Lemongrass. It is really a great sweater. I'm trying to race to the finish until spring, so I will be able to get this all done. I really like this seam right here where it's open on the side. I really find that that's going to be an interesting feature. I've never knit a sweater like this that has that on the side. And in addition to that, it was fun to construct and how you did it. The instructions were fantastic. I didn't have any trouble following along. And I would say even a beginner would do this. It is knit with Madeline Tosh Chunky. I don't know if I've already said that. I apologize. In the Steam Age colorway on size 10 US 6mm. That is the needle that's recommended in the pattern. This is my swatch. But anyways, hold up, I'm almost done. So here is the front panel, and this is the basket weave cable. I would tell you the basket weave cable may look somewhat complicated. It's really not. It's great for a beginner. And I think that the minimal effort it takes is totally worth the outcome. But it's really great. And there's a few things about this sweater that I really am looking forward to see. I don't knit turtlenecks. I don't wear turtlenecks very often, to be quite honest. This turtleneck, it was almost like a boat neck, and it is pretty wide. So it's not going to be right against my neck. It should flare out just a little bit and help me with that feeling that a turtleneck sometimes can give you of strangulation. So that's my first hope. I hope that I don't feel like I'm strangled in it. The second hope is that I get it done prior to spring coming here. So on the front, you can kind of see it's striping right here. I'm not going to rip it back. It's not as noticeable in person. And I had 6 skeins of this base to knit this sweater, and unfortunately out of 6 skeins I had 3 dye lots, and it wasn't like I had 2, 2, and 2 dye lots. No. And it's not like they were super similar. 2 were close, but 1 was completely away. I wish that I would have had the foresight to actually put the lighter skeins on back. And I took my darkest skein and my lightest skein, and I did stripe them, but the contrast is just too much. I probably should have taken a medium skein, and I really wish I would have done it on the back, because I also had a lighter skein and a darker skein on the back, but they were more complementary, and it's less severe of a striping motif. But you know, lessons learned, and then you move on. That's what hand knits are different, so we'll go with it. So I'm knitting on the last, not the last sleeve, the first sleeve, but I'm almost done, and I'm to the ribbing, so that is super exciting. Sorry for the metal clanking on that one. And it takes 2 buttons, so there's a few things. I do have my buttons that I'm going to do. They are just from Joann's, because there's no great place in town to get buttons. It's sad but true. And so I do have a button collection from where I am somewhere that has great buttons, and I do pre-buy buttons, which sometimes is good, sometimes is bad, but this time totally worked out because I had these buttons in my stash and they were on clearance, I think, hold on, focus, a few years ago from Joann's. But so we'll put it up next to my swatch, and they match extremely well. And so you just need 2 buttons for this on the side for this pattern, and so those will be going. So hope is this week I can almost get done. I was terrified on this project. Terrified. I was going to run out of yarn. I actually set this project down for like a week, so I was like, I'm not going to make it. And I hate that. I bought this yarn a year ago, and a lot of times I'm knitting with stuff that's 3, 4 years old, and I'm like, I can't get any more of this. I've already had 3 dye lots. I don't want another one. But anyways, I'm going to be fine. Thank goodness. I had faith and just pushed on, and I got it. And so I'm almost done with the sleeve, and I have 1 skein left to do the rest of that sleeve and do the whole other sleeve. I am the type of person that I ball my yarn as I knit. So I start a project and I ball 1 to 2 yarns, and then I leave the others in the skein. And the reason why is because I am a stasher. Totally. And I knit a lot of sweaters, and I have a lot of sweater quantities, and I hate running out. And so I typically have 1 skein left. I usually have 1 skein over just in case. Maybe I wanted to put a hood on it. You never know when you're buying it, unless you're buying it for a specific pattern, and I don't do that. I just like buying yarn. And so this way, as long as I wind it in a ball as I'm knitting it, if I do have 1 extra, that's fabulous. So I can then either sell it or I can put it back in the stash for a hat or a cowl or something else to be used at a later date. So that is that. Hopefully I'll get that done this week. I really hope so. I want to wear it. But after I knit that sleeve, I have to buy now pickup, do the other sleeve, and the pickup is then this one, great instructions again, but the pickup is a little unusual. And so it takes a little bit, well, it's been taking me a little bit more time. A little bit more time. It takes me 15 more minutes. Anyways, and hopefully I'll get that other arm sleeve done, and then I have to wind in the ends, and then I have to block it. So we're hopeful, but at the same time, don't hold me to it. Don't hate me if I don't get it done. And so that is that. For that sweater, I'm going to be really honest. Sorry, I'm going to bend down. I'm out of frame. Sorry, that was probably annoying. It's big. It's really big, and what kind of project bag do I put it in when it's that big? Because it is chunky yarn, and it is 6 skeins, turtlenecks, long sleeve. I mean, really. Whew. I use these for a lot of my worsted weight sweaters. This is, I believe it's Namaste, and they are just their mesh bags. When I bought these, I didn't know if I would really like them. I love this bag. I have 2 dogs and a 4-year-old, and it keeps the pet hair off while I can still see what's inside of it with obviously they're mesh, a clear view, and they're fabulous. I would highly recommend them to anyone. They've also lasted quite well. The snaps are really nice, and they're durable. So this is what I use for my large sweaters to keep the dog hair off of them when I'm not knitting. And then my second smaller project, it's in the Piddle Loop bag. This is their large wedge. I'm sorry I don't have a card for them. I probably got this 4 years ago, and it's one of my most used bags. I have really tried to use box bags, but I am a lover of the wedge. It's my preferred style. I'm sorry, it just seems weird to me to say lover of the wedge. I know people watching this are going to know what I mean. It's the wedge style or shape of the bag. But in my head, I'm laughing at myself right now, so you all know. And I am knitting Albatross by Jane Richmond out of her book, Island. A really great book, by the way. Really great. All right, so let's go in here, and let me show you a picture of this cowl. That's a really great picture of it. The sample that you see in this picture is knit out of Madeline Tosh DK. And it kind of has 3 tiers that are separated and then fall with a sort of ribbing. So it's a great pattern. It's going really well. It's going pretty quickly, you know, when I knit on it. I've been trying to bust out that sweater, so I haven't been getting a lot of love, unfortunately. I am using Hazelnut's Artisan Lively, which is their DK, and the colorway Violetta. She's based in Seattle, and a lovely dyer. I really do like her bases. I've knit sweaters out of this base as well. Let me show you the color of the yarn. It really is a wonderful, vibrant purple. Saturated. It's really a nice color. It's got a lot of depth to it. And so I'm going to show you the back side of this first. Nice ribbing. And then on the front, I have the top tier. This is the second tier. Ooh, I'm just on that bottom tier right there. This is a good pattern, and I will probably knit this again. I'm kind of doing a run through. This is for me, and then we'll see how it goes. The Hazelnut DK Lively is a lighter DK than Madeline Tosh DK, and so to compensate, the pattern calls for size 8s. I went down to 7s, and then I did make a modification, and I added 10 stitches. It's a cowl pattern. I mean, it's not It's not going to change it that much, but I didn't want it to be tighter than what was in the pattern originally. So based on my gauge, I just went ahead and did 10 more, and it's working out well. It seems about the right, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully I'll get that done in a week or two. So that's this bag. Woo! So then what's coming up in the knitting pipeline for me? If I get that sweater done, I have to put another sweater on the needles. And I'm drinking root beer. This is Steelhead. This is a local brewery in the Eugene area. And I love root beer, and their root beer actually is my favorite. Yeah, it is. So if I get that one done, I'm going to pick up a work in progress. I'm trying to get some of my work in progress off the needles. I had cast on itis a few months ago. Sometimes I get, like, I want to knit all the things, right? Who doesn't? But then I'm like plagued with indecision. Like, I don't know which one to cast on for next, and I'm totally waffling. So then I cast on for things that I didn't ever really want to cast on for, and too many things that I can knit. I cast on for this sweater. Let me look in it. Let me give you what it looks like. It's a lovely, just basic raglan top down with garter stitch panel detail. And I'm going to show you the first page of the pattern there. And it's Iridum by Miss Lisa. Is it Much? And I'm knitting it, and I'll just pick it up and show you. This is the front. I have the body done at this point. I made it extra long, about 18.5 inches. I made it a little bit longer than the pattern card for. It might be 19. It's a really lovely, nice turtleneck. And I say I don't wear turtlenecks. But this pattern is not for me. I really don't wear turtlenecks. I don't own any except that I'm pointing to the other sweater I'm knitting. That'll be my first one. This is for someone who does really like turtlenecks and does wear them all the time. But all I have left to do on this is the arms. And so after I get done with that sweater, as I'm doing the finishing, I'll probably go ahead and pick up this sweater and bang out those sleeves so I can have one more for the gift bin. But this was been knit out of Squish Fiber Art Silky Sock in the Regrets colorway. It is a club. It's 50% merino, 50% silk, and it's just a lovely colorway. I do really, really adore it. It's not really showing here. Oh, sorry. But it is a green blue, and some points the blue comes through, and some points you get the little bit of green. It really is such a great blending. You know, it's one of those colorways that from 5 feet away it looks blue, and the closer you get, the more interesting it is. It's been a joyous knit. I've knit it on size 5s on my signatures, and to be honest, this is so the truth. You're seeing the dirty truth. I only picked this up to finish the body because I want those needles to do my next sweater project for me. But so I've committed now that I have to finish it before I can pick up the next one for me. But this is 2 skeins for the entire body of the Silky Sock. It only took 2, and so I have my 3rd skein left, and I'm gonna wind her up and get her going here. Okay, finish objects. So this is what I finished in the last 2 weeks. The first one, I don't know how much it counts, but it's wee tiny. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. This is knit out of my hand spun. The fiber was from Becoming Art in the Garlands colorway. It was a December 2012 I believe, colorway. I know it was December. I think it was 2012, not 2011. This is Easy Baby Sweater out of last knitted gifts, and I will show you that book real quick out of this wonderful book. And it was easy. So the few things that I did is this was a 3-ply superwash merino Navajo ply knit, which basically I always hated when I didn't spin and people didn't explain anything to me. And I know my family who does not knit or spin is going to watch this, so I apologize if I say some things over and over again in the coming weeks, but I would rather say it so people understand than just gloss. So basically, Navajo plying is you chain back on yourself on the yarn, and you create a chain ply, which you may not understand that either, but it is a way to keep the colors together when you spin. So if you see the colors, the green, the blue, and this purple really kind of stay together, and they have nice transitions. I did purposely make sure that the two sides at least kind of matched. I'm really not a perfectionist when I knit for myself, but when I knit for other people, I am. The buttons are just Joanne buttons. I made them a little bit larger. But it's so cute, and it is just really squishy. And it's a 3-month size, and I hope the baby fits in it. It is for one of my husband's very dear professional friends that lives in California, and he's going to California this week to give it to him. And I was like, you make him understand. This is hand-dyed fiber by a fiber artist that was hand-spun and hand-knit, and every part was made with love. Every part. And I am a big believer in knitting. When you knit with love. But this is Lisa's, please focus, card from Becoming Art. And that was a club colorway, but her stuff is very nice. It's very beautiful. And I use her stuff quite a bit. So we're going to move on to my next finished item, which is on my mannequin, Jackie. And that's right, I named it. I'm a dork. Anyways, this is The Hitchhiker by Miriam Bem, and I think everyone has knit this in the knitting world. I'll try to get a little bit. It is extremely long for me, and it was a fun knit. It was easy. I knit this on size 2s and with hand spun. This hand spun was by Knitty. I think it's Dread. Hold on, it's in my show notes. By Knitty Dread, and it was part of a swap that I did. Sorry, it's not focusing very well. Maybe. No, it's not actually going to focus. I apologize. But 2 book by hand swap that was last year, and she is actually across the pond, and she sent this to me, and it's the colorway Wheezy Plants in Shetland. She got 610 yards, and she spun it supported long draw. It was a wonderfully light spin. It was really a fabulous fiber, and I wanted to pick something that really allowed it to shine in a way that you could see the color changes, and I could use all of it. 610 yards of a single is quite a bit, and I wanted some flexibility in the pattern. And I think I got it. The size 2s, I'm going to be honest, it's 610 yards, and I did use as much as humanly possible. I only have a tiny bit left because I couldn't make another point. Is a long time. This did take me a long time, and I'm not the fastest knitter. This is pre-blocked, and I don't have my ends woven in, but I wanted to show you before, and I'll show you the after. And then this, honestly, is going to go in my gift. My gift bin for someone. And sorry, I'm zushi. so it looks okay. But it's going to go in the gift bin. And so if someone's watching this that I know, that's my friend or my family member, and you have to have that, let me know because it could be yours. All right, going to move on to spinning. I have a cherry matchless. I've only been spinning about a year and a half, so I'm still trying to learn my way about it. I feel a little funky, but I do spin every week. I do spend several hours every week to try to get better. And right now I'm spinning Squish Fiber Arts, and it's a 50% merino, 50% baby alpaca blend. This was a May 2012 club called Juxtaposition. And I'm going to show you the other side in a minute. It's kind of, it appears to be washing it out on my screen. But it is beautiful blues and a blue-green tealy with gray. Overall, once I spin this, the light colors that look white are actually a brighter tealy blue. After I spin this, I'm going to apply it up. I did get half of it done. I have one, this is one bump of fiber, 4 ounces spun on my wheel. So I'm going to be honest and explain a little bit. This is a bump. So this is a normal bump is around 4 ounces of fiber. They can be less, they can be more, but I would say average is 4 ounces. I was in her club and I did 1 bump, and then I did 2, and then I did 1, and now I'm back to 2 bumps. But so what I'll do is I will spin this 4 ounces and I will apply it with this to make a yarn. I'm hoping for a sport, might be a TK. I would really love a heavy fingering, but that's doubtful. So spinning along. This is my spinning story for the week. I'm sitting there and spinning, and I don't know why I was in a hurry. Like sometimes with my knitting and spinning, I just get in a hurry. Like for no reason. I'm doing this for a hobby. I'm doing this to relax myself, and I love it, and I love the process. And every now and then I find myself saying, hurry up, Kayla, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And I think that's because every other place in my life, that's what I tell myself. I tell myself that at work. I tell myself that when I'm driving to go get my kid, when I'm making dinner, when I'm cleaning up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And so knitting is supposed to be my kind of zone out, like slow down kind of time. Yeah, so anyways, I was trying to hurry up. And for about 15 minutes before I realized kind of what I was doing, and I kind of ruined it in a way. I am at this point pretty consistent in my single spinning, which this is a single because it's just one single fiber, like strand of fiber. It's called a single. And I really kind of screwed the pooch, and it was much thicker. I haven't decided what I'm going to do about that yet. It isn't that much fiber in the grand scheme of the full 8 ounces. So I might ply it up to that point, take that fiber, whip it out, and then keep on going. I left it on here. I probably will apply at least a little bit of it and see if the change in thickness of my singles is just in my crazy mind. And it's not too bad. If it's not too bad, I'm not a perfectionist. I'm gonna go with it. But if it's really bad, I'll take it out. Okay. It's totally awesome. Okay, so we're going to go on to enabling. You know, I've always watched people in podcasts for years drink a lot. I'm like, man, is everyone just really thirsty? because, you know, they all must have gotten together and talked about how they were going to drink something. And I was like, man, I got to have something to drink when I do this because everyone does. And guess what? Your mouth really becomes almost cotton mouthy. Oh, okay. You're seeing my craziness come out a little bit. This is not my first take, so I'm getting more comfortable. My first one, I was so nervous, and I was just kind of stumbling a little bit, and then I felt weird. I'm like, I can't put that up. That makes me look like I'm a crazy person. But not crazy in the way that I really am crazy, but crazy in just crazy. Stumbling and can't talk and can't formulate words. So instead, I did take number 2. And take number 2, I had this awesome magnetic chalkboard behind me. It's gonna go right here. You'll see it next week, I promise. And I'm doing my second take and I'm doing all good. And my husband just put it up. Like seriously, he just put it up so I could do my podcast. Totally fell. I told him when he was putting it up, dude, that's not going to stay. But he's an engineer, so that's way more than me. And then it fell. So this is take 3. I apologize if I'm talking really fast because this is take 3 and I've done this 2 times before. Just let me know and I will try to slow it down. Talking fast it's always been a problem for me. Anyone that knows me can attest. But anyways, I got sucked into that squirrel. And this was her first offering from her shop. And it was beautifully packaged. And I'm sorry, I ripped it apart. This is a handle on the zipper. Really a lovely, lovely idea. I like that quite a bit. And this inside is just a nice light plain fabric. I like light fabric on the inside of my bags. I find it much easier to locate when I'm looking for whether it's a stitch marker that fell off or the whole project. I like the lighter insides of bags, so I really appreciate this nice cream. And then this is the yarn that I got. This is 3 skeins of BFL sock yarn, and there is still room. So a nice, generously sized bag. I would definitely be able to get, and I'm not super skinny, ladies and gentlemen, but I could get a fingering or sport, possibly a DK sweater in here. Like that bad boy over there, that's like chunky, wouldn't go in anything but like a backpack almost, but anyways, nicely sized bag. So let's show you the yarn, shall we? Okay, so I opted for the option to get the 3 colors of sock yarn coordinated with the bag. So these are all based off of this lovely fabric. And the option was a 80% BFL, 20% nylon base. And so this is the first one. It's like an ochre. It's kind of washing it out. That looks a little bit too orange. But it's a nice tonal yarn. So really fabulous. That is that color. I also got the color blue. And then lastly, in this set is a nice orange. Or sorry, a red. I apologize. They're very nice, and I will show them together to you. You know, I don't know. They do go together, I think, well. I could see doing a shawl with these or another one. I've really been thinking about doing a color affection. I did one and it about sucked out my soul. It's a lot of knitting. And it's an easy pattern. It's a great pattern. It's beautiful. I wear it all the time. And if I remember, I'll put it up next week for you guys. It's really lovely. But as much knitting as that is, 3 fingering weight skeins, and I did use, and I made it bigger than the pattern called for, to use all of my skeins of yarn. I can knit a sweater. So it's like, man, I can knit a sweater with all of that, or I can knit this ginormous shawl. It is so useful. I wear it all the time and I get compliments on it. So I'm really debating about knitting one with these as a gift to go into the gift bin. This year I have really have been trying to get a better stock of gifts. I have a lot of people, mainly my husband, who comes to me and says, hey, so-and-so's birthday or so-and-so needs a gift or are having a bad day and I want you to knit something for them. Can you whip that out right quick? Now the man lives with me. He sees how fast I knit. I am average. I mean, I'm not super fast. And he's always like, oh yeah, just whip that out. And so I'm really trying to do 2 things. The first is kind of say, hey, that's not going to happen. And the second is to have kind of a somewhat of a depth of being able to say, yes, I have that. I can run upstairs and get it. There are somewhat strenuous times where I would really love to give that person a knitted gift because I know them and like them and all of that things, and I can't. So maybe if I did it, you wouldn't see it for a few weeks. But anyways, and then the second thing that I have is a drink of root beer. Ooh, delicious. Girl cave bags. I love Girl Cave bags. For about a few months I've been mildly obsessed with her. And I don't know if it's been smart of me or not, but what I have done is I'm trying to hit my 4-year-old daughter kind of in bags. So Ziploc bags, not going to do it. If she doesn't think they're cute, she's done with them. So I've been steadily investing in not a lot, but just a few nice indie bags that are super cute for her. And she gets them at Easter and her birthday and Christmas. And then it's just a great way to zip them up, put them in the backpack, or put them away. I swear if I step on one more fairy godmother with little wand sticking out in my feet, and we may lose it. So I'm trying to encourage her to have some kind of organization. She wants everything out all the time and she wants to play with it. And she's 4. She's 4. So what 4-year-old doesn't want to do that? So I'm trying to, help her out and give her great cute options where she can put her stuff away. And this is the first one that I got for her. This is, crowns, princesses, jewels. And the tabs are hot pink. Perfect. And then the inside is a coordinating flowery fabric. And that fabric is actually the fabric that's on this dress right here on the inside. That makes me happy inside, honestly. And then she does, as always, in all of her bags, she puts a button right there. So for Easter, my little one will be getting this bag, or I do have a spare. Anyone that knows me would not be surprised that I have a spare. No. But anyways, this one is mermaids. How cute is that? Riding seahorses. Because what? The other side, look at, they're riding seahorses. I dig it. I dig it so hard. I dig it so hard, I kind of want to keep it because, come on, we all can be a 5-year-old girl again. The inside is polka dots. So she will be getting one of those to keep her princesses in. And that's all I have that's knitting related. So I'm going to kind of go into my section that I'm going to call Rants and Raves. And I'm going to try to do this at the end. I know a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot, but there are some people who just want knitting content. And so I'm going to split it and say, if you just want knitting content, that's all there is. And bye. Hopefully I'll see you again. Please come back. Give me another chance. And for everyone else, I'm going to have a section called Rants and Raves so you can get to know me a little bit better, and hopefully it makes you laugh a little bit. You know, I really try to take myself not, too seriously. And I just try to see the humor in most things. My father always told me that you hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And hopefully somewhere in between happens. So anyways, my rants and raves, one is just going to be like a service announcement, basically. I work in an industry that is very specific and has a busy time, and they call it a slow time, but I would just call it normal time, or busy. There's busier and busy. So I have the busiest time of the year coming up. It's going to last about 16 weeks, and it will end the end of July. And then I'll have a few week reprieve, and in October it'll be very busy again for at least 2 weeks in October. It's a stressful time, and really I do lean on my knitting quite a bit during that to kind of calm me and chill me out. But my knitting content at that point will decrease. I still will do this every week, but I'm not going to have gobs of progress. I'm not someone who knits super fast, and I do knit every day, whether it's a stitch or it's for hours. But, please just bear with me during that time. It'll be a yearly thing. And I may be a little cuckoo during that time and sleep deprived and just trying to make it through. But then I'm going to give you a story. I got totally 2 good stories. This is my favorite part. So the first story is my husband. I love him. He's a dear man. And he does not know how to say the correct thing. I should say the sociable thing. The thing anyone else what you would say to me. I was asking you a question. The correct thing to say is, you look great, or don't worry about it. My husband, nope. He lost that, if he ever had it. It's straight up honesty, which, one can't complain because I'd rather it be honesty, right? So we're getting ready to do this podcast, and I'm setting everything up, and I'm getting it all ready. And he was a sweetheart, and he took my daughter to the park, and he took our 2 dogs to the dog park. So they're all at the dog park. Whew, 2 dogs and 1 kid, the poor man. And he's trying to give me a little space and a piece of quiet. So at least my first episode can be interruption free. And so I'm getting ready, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll see you later. And he turns around and he goes, have you seen your hair today? Like, yeah, I have. Because I took a shower and I hadn't done it yet. I hadn't even blow dry it. It was totally crazy. And then he takes like 3 more steps, and he turns around and he goes, you didn't put on makeup today. I said, no, I didn't. And he's like trying to get around saying something like really awful that he knows is going to hurt my feelings. And he's like taking these deep breaths. And he's like trying to steady himself, right, for the wrath of what I'm going to say back to him when he tells me what he really thinks. Because he can't keep it inside. That's just not the way he rolls. And he's like, you might want to look into that before you do a video and you post it on the internet for the world to see. Now, I'm just saying, if that's what you're going for, that's okay. I was like, no, I don't want to look like a crazy person while I'm doing a video for the entire world to see. your comments are noted and I will take them into account. And he's like, okay, so you're going to do your hair, right? I'm like, yes, I'm going to do my hair, I promise. And then, it's great. So he's so uncomfortable and he's like, kind of like, okay, like, dude, she didn't yell at me. This is awesome. I totally know that's what he was thinking. And I said, well, so, I'm just curious. What do you think about my outfit? He pauses. He turns around and he goes, well, I don't know what you're going for in this podcast, so I don't really think that I can answer that question. And I said, well, I'm going for casual. He said, well, you hit the nail on the head with the hair, so you're doing good. I was like, just go away. Just go away, you mean man. So, hopefully, I am acceptable. My hair and my clothes are acceptable for this podcast because, according to my husband, he doesn't know. So that's about it today. It's my one rant for the day. I had two, but the other one we'll save it for next time. You guys can find me on Ravelry as Indie String. I have not started a Ravelry group. If people want a Ravelry group, just message me. I just don't want to be presumptuous and pretentious. I would love to have a group if you guys want to have one, if you think it would be a place that you would want to chit-chat. I'm just afraid of starting a group that's like deadpan, and I don't want that. I'm so not a deadpan person. And so I just really want to know what you guys think. And I want this to be kind of a communal thing, as weird as that sounds. But I want it to be, I want to give you what you guys want to see and what you want to hear in my way, in my own way. And so hopefully we can all come to a place where it's enjoyable for everyone involved, my viewers as well as myself. And if you do have any comments for how this can be better, if the lighting wasn't well, if the sound wasn't good, if there was something about it that needs to be changed, please let me know, and I will do the best that I can do to get that corrected as soon as possible. I know right now that if you're watching this, hopefully in 6 months I am, but this first episode is only available embedded to the blog or on YouTube. Unfortunately, iTunes and Blip, just so you guys know, I never knew this before, but they like to see 3 to 5 episodes. Totally understandable. So for the first few episodes, we'll be right here on the blog or on YouTube, where you can watch it and stream it. And then hopefully at that point, and once I am on those 2 lovely sites, I will let you know, so you'd be able to subscribe and download it, or instantly stream it from Blip if you prefer. The show notes will be available on my blog, which is awful. Right in the show notes after this, I will put my blog. And please let me know if there's anything that you guys need or want, and hopefully you'll join me next week. Thank you so much, and happy knitting. Bye!